Alright, let's dive into something you probably use almost every single day, but might not have ever really stopped to think about. Yep, I'm talking about the microwave oven. You know, that magical looking box in your kitchen that somehow takes your cold, leftover pizza and transforms it into a steamy, delicious snack in just a couple of minutes? It honestly feels like some kind of futuristic wizardry, but believe it or not, there's a whole world of fascinating science happening every time you press that start button. Here's the real scoop. Unlike a stove or a traditional oven, which heat your food from the outside in by surrounding it with hot air or direct heat, a microwave works in a totally different way. It uses invisible energy waves, called, you guessed it, microwaves, to heat your food. These microwaves are actually a type of electromagnetic wave, which is the same family as the waves your phone uses to send texts or make calls, but they operate at a different frequency that's perfect for heating up food. Now, inside every microwave oven, there's a special device called a magnetron. This is where the magic really starts. Magnetron sounds like a superhero or a villain from a comic book, right? But in reality, it's just a super important piece of technology. What the magnetron does is generate those microwaves and shoot them out into the metal box of the microwave oven, where they bounce around, reflecting off the walls until, bam, they hit your food. But here's where things get really interesting and honestly, a little wild. The microwaves don't just heat everything in your food equally. They specifically target water molecules, which are found in almost everything you eat. Water molecules are kind of like tiny magnets. They have a positive end and a negative end, which makes them super responsive to electromagnetic waves. When the microwaves hit your food, they make those water molecules start spinning and vibrating at incredible speeds, millions of times every single second. All that rapid movement creates friction between the molecules, and friction, as you probably know, means heat. That's what cooks your food from the inside out, and it happens way faster than with traditional methods. That's why your food can go from ice cold to piping hot in just a few minutes, and why the heat seems to come from the inside, not just the surface. Here's something to think about. Foods with more water, like soup or vegetables, heat up much faster than drier foods like bread or crackers. Ever notice how your soup can get almost boiling hot, while your bread just gets a little warm and sometimes even chewy? That's because the microwaves are really just making those water molecules dance. The more water there is, the more molecules there are to absorb the microwaves and turn that energy into heat. That's the power of water molecules in action, right before your eyes. But, as you might have experienced, sometimes you bite into something straight from the microwave and one part is scorching hot, while another part is still cold or even frozen. That's because microwaves don't always reach every spot in your food evenly. The waves can bounce around and create hot and cold spots, depending on the shape and size of your food. That's why most microwaves have that spinning plate, or turntable, inside. It helps rotate your food, so the microwaves can hit it from all angles, making the heating more even. Now let's talk safety for a second. Never, ever put metal in the microwave. Seriously, it's not worth the risk. Metal objects reflect microwaves instead of absorbing them, which can cause sparks, damage your microwave, or even start a fire. That's why you sometimes see those scary sparks if someone accidentally leaves a fork in their leftovers. Always use containers labeled as microwave safe. If you're not sure, check the bottom or the packaging for a symbol or instructions. Some plastics can melt or release chemicals if they're not meant for microwave use. So the next time you're nuking some leftovers or making a quick snack, remember, it's not magic at all. It's just a magnetron, some invisible waves, and a bunch of wild water molecules doing the cha-cha in your food. Science is literally everywhere, even in the most ordinary places like your kitchen. Every time you use your microwave, you're witnessing physics and chemistry in action. If you thought this was cool, stick around. I've got plenty more everyday science secrets and kitchen mysteries to share with you. There's a lot more going on in your home than you might think. Don't forget to hit that like button if you learned something new, and I'll see you next time for more awesome science in your everyday life.